Welcome to Numina, the only place that's reverse engineered the College Board. We're going to show you how to solve these problems very quickly with mathematical precision and with 100% confidence. That means you no longer have to rely on the answer key, but purely on the power of your knowledge. The mind is a powerful tool, and we're going to show you how to use it. Here's how it's done.
Question 24. In Angkor, Cambodia's ancient city, a clever designed reservoir 5 miles long and 1 mile wide supplied fish and helped farmers to produce 3 crops of rice annually. In A, we have clever. Here we're going to test to see if there are any modifier errors. Here we notice that clever is an adjective. Is there anything important about adjectives that we need to know, Anthony?
Sure. I think most of you may already know this, but adjectives modify nouns. And in this case, the noun is reservoir. So let's get rid of design, which seems to be another adjective. Let's get rid of that and see if it makes sense. A clever reservoir. Is there something odd about that?
Actually, I'm not sure what a clever reservoir would be. I don't think we can have a clever reservoir. So I think there's something off here. What else can we do? Well, since A is what is underlined and it's an adjective trying to modify reservoir, and it doesn't seem to fit, we might actually have an error here in A. Well, let's see. What else how can we change A? We can change A from an adjective to possibly an adverb, but then doesn't that need to modify something else? Possibly an adjective or a verb or even another adverb? And we have one designed.
Now note, some of you may have been confused and thought that design is a verb. It actually isn't. It's a past participle. And when past participles stand alone, they function as adjectives. As in this example, a designed reservoir.
So here we notice that A must be our choice. We have an error here in A. Clever, the adjective, should most appropriately be probably cleverly, the adverb, and modified design, the adjective. But we need to let's go and do the checks for B, C, and D, just in case. B, supplied fish. Here we're going to test for verb tense. Anthony's listening. How come we're testing for only verb tense this time and not subject verb or verb form as we did previously for other questions?
Well, actually, this is a different question. For other questions that involve subject verb or verb forms, the answer choice had helping verbs that were in the present tense or helping verbs that were number sensitive. Also, we don't really have to worry about verb form here if supplied works as a verb. And it does. It seems to be taking on the subject, reservoir. So the reservoir supplied fish and helped farmers to produce 3 crops of rice annually. It is functioning as a verb. So our only concern is verb tense. Is this the correct tense, Brian?
Well, it's simple past. Well, let's just take a quick look. Reservoir supplied fish seems okay. And if I look ahead a little bit, I see another verb that isn't underlined, helped, which is also in the simple past. I don't see any logical inconsistencies. I think supplied works.
I think so too. Remember when you're checking tenses, we've always reminded you to look for tense clues. In this case, we have several in the sentence. One is ancient city. Clearly, you're talking about the past here. And then you have helped farmers. So supplied and helped should be parallel. And in this case, helped because they're happening at the same time. Helped is in the simple past tense, so it makes sense that supplied is should be in the simple past tense. So I think B checks out. We should go on to C.
And, well, here we're talking about coordination. It's a coordinated conjunction. And also parallel. We mentioned parallel previously when we talked about B, so we need to make sure that this coordinated conjunction is properly joining two similar items. Well, what are we trying to join here, Anthony Sonsini?
As mentioned in the previous explanation about B, I think and is clearly joining supplied, the verb, and helped, another verb. So you have supplied and helped. Two verbs are joined by this coordinating conjunction and. There are no logical fallacies here, and both are parallel. So I think we can move on to D.
Great. To produce. When we look at to produce, we're going to again check for idiom errors and also verb form errors. Idiom errors. Well, I remember that we don't chase idioms. Is there any idiom of note here?
Well, normally idioms involve prepositions or verb forms. Certain verbs are sound better or are used more frequently with certain verb forms. In this case, you should memorize this idiom. The verb helped often functions with the infinitive to plus the verb. So in this case, we have helped to produce. This is correct. So we don't necessarily have to worry about the idiom here or the verb form. This follows how English is frequently used. I think we can move on to move on.
Great. Perfect. We've gone through A, B, C, and D, and we found an error in A. Clever. Remember we said that clever was an adjective, and we needed to replace clever with the adverb cleverly. How does that sound, Anthony Sonsini?
That sounds fine. I think that works.
Well, let's reread the sentence one last time and make sure that our correction actually fits the sentence. In Angkor, Cambodia's ancient city, a cleverly designed reservoir, 5 miles long and 1 mile wide, supplied fish and helped farmers to produce 3 crops of rice annually. Sounds good. Noumena, empowering mind.